Hey guys, welcome back to the homestead. I'm gonna collect some eggs and let the chickens back in, and we're gonna do some gardening. So let's go. Clean chicken eggs and not so clean duck eggs. Okay, let's go plant some seeds and get some gardening done. Okay guys, so we're here in the greenhouse and I have a few things that I want to show you that I'm going to be planting today. We're going to start with some pelleted Brussels sprout seeds. These are just from Mackenzie. They're called the Long Island Improved Brussels Sprout. I'm going to plant that in one of the containers. And then I have a few things that I have to get started today, like my cucumbers. This is a Shintokia cucumber. And then a pickling cucumber. So it's just the national pickling cucumber. I also have the Black Mountain watermelon and New England pumpkin pie pumpkins. I grew these last year, but they weren't as big as I thought they would be. I know that sometimes seed companies can put the wrong seeds in your seed packets, so sometimes it might not always be what it's intended to be. So I'm going to try them again to see if they actually grow as big as they're supposed to, and if they don't, then I'm pretty sure that these are probably not the right seed. They were a very nice pumpkin to grow regardless. And then I have a few things that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and that is cold stratification. If you've never heard about cold stratification, basically I'll explain what it is to you very simply. So quickly, I'm going to tell you what cold stratification is. So it's basically simulating winter temperatures so that you get your cold hardy fruits or vegetables to actually grow when the weather warms up. So what I did was, this here is a blackberry, and in order to grow blackberries from seed, so here are all of the seeds, they're individual from the blackberries. This is just one organic blackberry that I purchased from the store, and then I kept it, and what I did was I put it in the freezer for 2 months. So this was in my freezer for 2 months, and I took them out of the freezer yesterday. What I'm going to do is start some of these seeds, but in order to get the seeds to actually grow, you have to cold stratify them. So you have to simulate what would be winter, where they would get that time in the cold part of the winter. And if you don't want to leave them outside for that, it's easy to just put them in your freezer for a couple of months and then take them out, and then you can start your seeds as you would any other seed. So all I'm doing now is just basically rubbing this blackberry in my hand, and I have already probably like 40 seeds in here, and this is just what they look like. This is the seed with no blackberry, actual blackberry on it. It's just the seed. So now I have a bunch of these seeds. I'm going to plant these, and hopefully we can get some blackberries going. So it's quite simple. You just put it in, take the berry or the fruit. I did the same thing with a cranberry. This is organic cranberry. It still has all the cranberry juice and pulp and everything in it. I just took this out of the packet. I tried to find the most like mature looking one, and then I put it in the freezer, and I had these two in the freezer for the past like 80 days or so. It's been a while. So now that we have these, I'm going to basically plant them as I would anything else. But first I have to get all the juice off of this cranberry here. So I'm gonna just peel it. Ooh, it's staining my hands. But we want the seed packet right in there. See the seeds right there? I'm gonna lay that out on a paper towel just to dry them. You can see the seeds if you look carefully. And there's quite a few seeds in this. There's probably about 8 or 10 seeds or so. So all I'm gonna do is just scrape this off on a paper towel, and then I'll have the seeds, and then I'm gonna just leave them on the paper towel for about a day until they dry out a little bit. Once they're a little bit dry, then we can plant them in the soil. Okay, so I have my blackberry and my cranberry. The blackberries can be planted now. The cranberries, I'm gonna plant that a little bit later once the seeds dry out a little bit. Now I've got pink fingers. Oh, I have something else that is super special that I've been holding here that I bought this, and I ate the fruit, and then I peeled the skin off of the seed, and this is what I have here wrapped in a damp paper towel. It is a mango pit, and you can see right there's the little sprout that's coming up. This is the seed from a mango that I purchased. It's called a Glen mango, and I want to grow this from seed because I want it to grow a very specific kind of mango, but I'm gonna put it in a nice large container that I can bring in at the end of the season. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna plant this bad boy. It's gonna stay inside for now because it's still kind of chilly here. I'm gonna bring it outside on the same day that I bring out all of my warm weather crops, because all of these seeds that I'm starting right now, we're gonna bring them inside and put them under my grow lights where I have everything else growing, because it's still too chilly to leave any little seedlings out right now. So here's my mango seed. It looks really good. I've had it in this damp paper towel ever since I ate it, which was only about a day and a half ago, 2 days ago, and it's just been sitting here, and then I wrapped it in some saran wrap. So I'm gonna plant this as I would anything else, a nice loose soil, and then I'm also going to add a bit of sand to the soil because mangoes typically grow in the tropics where it's quite sandy, the soil, and so I'm gonna add some sand. Our soil here is sandy because we live right on the lake, so all I have to do is scoop out a little bit of the soil and it'll be quite sandy, and I'm gonna plant that as well. I'm super excited. I'll be documenting a lot of how we grow this and how to take care of the mango. So if you're interested in growing a mango from seed, make sure you subscribe and come along so that we can follow the progress of this Glen mango here. All right, let's start some of the seeds now. Okay guys, so I have my easy sow Brussels sprouts. We're gonna plant some of these, and Brussels sprouts, because they're a brassica, they can stay outside in the greenhouse, or you can plant them out in the soil right now. It shouldn't be too cold where you are. If you're anywhere zone 5 or above, you should be okay. If you're zone 4 or below, you're probably still waiting for the weather to warm up. So I'm in zone 5B, so it's time for brassicas to be in the ground. Brassicas technically can get into the ground as soon as like spring starts, really. So you're good to go on that. This is my favorite cup, by the way. Okay, so just gonna plant some of these in this pot here. Let me show you what I'm doing. And this is the soil that I fertilized and improved maybe about 2 weeks or so ago. There's some blood meal and peat moss and all that good stuff in here. Okay, so the neighbors popped by real quick to grab some eggs, so I had to leave the greenhouse, run out there, get the egg. Anyway, where were we? Let's get back to it. And these are the easy sow seeds, so they're pelleted. And I'm just going to distribute quite a few of these in here to make sure we get good germination. Okay, and then I'm just going to cover that back up. That's it, really. That's all we're doing. I'm gonna give this a good drink, and I'm also gonna get a label in here. Okay, and in here I'm going to plant the blackberries. Just gonna start them in a small container like this, get the seedlings going, and then we can re-up-pot them and plant them in our permanent location or in bigger pots. So all I'm doing is, I'm gonna plant quite a few of them though, because I don't know how well they're gonna germinate, so don't worry about overcrowding. We can always thin these out, right? So just put them in like that, and I have quite a few of them in there. If you look closely, you'll see the blackberry seeds. And then we're just gonna cover it up slightly. And we'll give this again a good drink. So we're done with that. Then now we're gonna start some cucumbers, and I want to start my long cucumbers. These are the Shintokias. So what do you like most about gardening? Some people find it very therapeutic. Some people like the process of watching things grow. Some people like growing their own food and having a bit of self-sustainability. Some people are growing to prepare for any sort of disaster. Some people grow just because they love planting and the process of planting and getting things in the ground. For me, it's watching them grow. That's what I love about it. That's what I love most about it. I like pretty much every reason why you would want to garden, but for me it's mostly about watching something go from a seed to like this beautiful plant that also isn't just beautiful but also provides sustenance for your family and for the things that are in nature that pollinate or also consume some of that. So it's such a beautiful like circle of you know, sowing the seed and watching the entire lifespan. That's pretty cool to me. I also have the New England pumpkin pie, and I'm gonna put a few in the other row. I'm only growing about 2 rows of the Shintokiya cucumbers because I'm also growing quite a few of the pickling cucumbers. And I just put 2 seeds in each cell pack because once these get going, I actually take them out and I thin them, but then I plant the thinned ones as well. I don't discard them. So I'm gonna get, if all 6 sprout, I'll get all 6 plants, and that's enough pumpkin for me. 6 full pumpkin plants actually is quite a lot, so that's good enough for us. So now we have our Shintokiya cucumber and our New England pumpkin pie pumpkins in here. Now I'm gonna start some Black Mountain watermelon. So this is what the looks like 4 weeks before your last frost date. And you can see, look at how these seeds are. They're like a light color. They're not your typical black seeds. Very interesting. I'm gonna do 3 seeds per cell. I wanna make sure I get enough seeds germinated here, just in case something happens to 1 or 2 of them. Okay, Black Mountain watermelon, National pickling cucumber, about 3 seeds per cell as well. And then we'll thin these out as they go and plant them in their own container or in the soil, wherever they're going. I usually only up pot my starts once before they go in their permanent spot. Okay, so we have our cucumbers, watermelon, pumpkin, and Brussels sprouts, as well as some blackberries, all planted today. I'm going to now grab my hose and give these guys a nice little spray down so they all get nice and saturated. So I started all of my tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants, as well as some broccoli and some cabbages inside. They'll be coming out probably in about a week. The peppers are taking a little bit longer to grow because peppers are a slower growing plant, so they're pretty small, but I only started them about 3 weeks ago. Also, my tomatoes, I just started those about a week and a half ago, so they're quite small as well. I'll give you guys an update on that in the next video though, but I do have the majority of my other things already started inside, so they're just waiting to come out now. So pretty much all of my seeds are done and started. I'm not going to start any more seeds because pretty much I've filled up all of my containers in here. I am going to purchase some of the grow bags, and I'm going to put a nice row of grow bags in here beside my containers so that we maximize the amount of growing space we have in the greenhouse, because I do have this entire side that I can add things onto, as well as this middle portion down the middle. So I do have quite a bit of space in here that I can keep growing into. So that's gonna all fill out though once everything gets going. You can already see the onions that I started a couple of days ago. They're already coming up, and then also some of the potatoes that I planted in my 2 containers are starting to sprout up as well. So they're all looking really good. So we're off to a great gardening season. I'm super excited, can't wait for the weather to warm up, and now that all of my seeds are done, whew, I can take a breather and I can just come out here and water and feed these plants when they need. So all I have to do now is dry out my seeds from my cranberries and get those dried, and I can plant those as well. All right, we're gonna plant the mango, and that is the last thing we're gonna do. So I have my organic soil here, just potting soil, and I'm putting in a little bit of peat moss in here. And the mango is coming inside with me. It's still not warm enough for mangoes or any summer seedlings to stay outside. So I have my container here full of soil. Just going to place it sideways like that. The sun's coming out now, and then just gonna fill it up gently with a little bit of, not a lot, just a little peat. Okay, now I'm gonna give this a good drink of water. Let me grab my hose and water everything. Alright guys, well thank you so much for coming along with me as we finish off all of our seeds and get everything that we need started for our year of food for the upcoming summer. Make sure if it's your first time here, you guys like, comment, share the video on social media if you find this helpful, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Thank you for joining me guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay peaceful. Bye!